All right, Gator fans. We had some big news in Gators basketball yesterday, and we're going to talk about how that can impact Florida throughout the upcoming basketball season and Florida's chances to potentially repeat as national champions. Florida won the national championship last year, going through going through a gauntlet of very good teams. They beat Norfolk State in what was a pretty easily handed. I shouldn't say easily handed. I should say in a dominating performance against Norfolk State. Beat the previously reigning champs and two-time defending champs UConn, who repeated. excuse me, sorry, who repeated the 2 years before Florida won it. This year's championship. Then they went through Maryland, who had a pretty respectable year for their expectations, and then they almost lost to Texas Tech in what was a climatic game. They faced Auburn for the second time, for the third time this season in the Final Four matchup. Won that game after being down by 12 at halftime, and then won a chaotic game against Houston to finalize their championship hopes. And this season, the basketball team for 2025 through 2026 looks to be pretty good again. Florida has had some good news with a couple of players choosing to return. Thomas Hogg chose not to enter the NBA draft this upcoming year and return to Florida for his junior season. He played a big role in coming back and Florida's comeback against Texas Tech, and was able to secure some pretty big rebounds and some big shots for Florida in their run to the national championship. So he's returning to Florida. Ruben Chinilu is coming back to Florida as well. He provided a nice big body to get key rebounds and a big presence in the middle of the paint for Florida, and he's returning to Gainesville for this season as well. What is speculated, however, is whether or not Alex Condon for the Gators is going to come back as well. That seems to be more like it's up in the air. It could go either way. But the good news is he has a couple of his teammates coming back, so that could potentially influence him to come back as well. That's in terms of who's returning to Florida. Who's coming to Florida? Obviously, I just mentioned it at the beginning. Arkansas's Boogie Fland, I hope I'm saying his name right, chose to commit to Florida out of the transfer portal, leaving Fayetteville of the Arkansas Razorbacks. His representatives, NIL agent Mike Miller, who Mike Miller, who was a former Florida Gator, also won couple of championships with my Miami Heat, and his manager Julian Aiken gave the verbal commit to along with Fland on Tuesday. Miller, a Florida alum, played with 2 seasons for the Gators under then coach Billy Donovan. And then Fland, who's considered turning pro, withdrew NBA draft consideration. He attended the draft combine but did not complete the entire event before making his decision to return. He was ESPN's number 42 player in their draft rankings, and was projected to be a second-round pick in their latest mock draft. So this was a pretty big get for Florida. One of the big names in the transfer portal. Not only did they get Arkansas's Boogie Fland, but they're getting him along with Princeton transfer Xavier Lee. I'm pulling up his article right now. Princeton transfer Xavier Lee commits to the new champ Florida. This is an ESPN article. He's a 6'4" Canada native. I honestly thought he was Asian based off of his name, but that's all right. Was a two-time first-team All-Ivy League selection. 16.9 points a game, 6.1 rebounds, 5.5 assists per game, shooting nearly 37% from three-point range. So he's another shooter for Todd Golden, and we saw how well he did with Walter Clayton. And that's a big weapon for Florida to get when you consider the depth that Florida's losing at the guard position, with Denzel Aberdeen transferring to that team in Lexington. Walter Clayton and Elijah Martin obviously headed to the NBA. So that was a big pickup for the Gators to get some explosive scores at the guard position, and that was a good get for Florida. And I think what it shows is that not only did Florida make the right hire in Todd Golden, but he seems like he wants to make a name for himself and be remembered as one of the great NBA not NBA, college basketball coaches of all time. because now he's trying to do. He's trying to repeat this year and getting these players. They also got a pretty good guard out of Ohio in the transfer portal as well. AJ Brown, not AJ Brown for the Eagles, but AJ Brown from the Ohio Bobcats. He was a redshirt sophomore. He averaged 13.2 points a game, 3.2 rebounds, and 1.3 steals per game. During his time there, he was ranked as the number 13 shooting guard and 68th overall player in the transfer portal per 247 Sports. Florida saw the departures of Will Richard and Clay. I forgot to mention Will Richard as well. Will Richard, Elijah Martin, Walter Clayton Jr., and Denzel Aberdeen. So Florida, at the very least, is trying to replenish the depth that they had at the guard position. It may not be as deep as it was last year, but I don't think Florida will lose too much based off of who they brought in. Now, he's one of the top players in the country, is expected to start in one of those two guards' place. Todd Golden confirmed that. And he's also going to move Thomas Howard up to take Will Richard's spot in the starting lineup at the small forward position. So if Alex Condon can come back, then I think Florida will have that right mixture of guys who are experienced and know what it's like to win a national championship, and players that are headed to Florida who are competitive and hungry, looking to win big, and can provide some new spark to the basketball squad, and hopefully lessen the complacency that could come with winning a national championship. Because by Todd Golden being this aggressive after coming off of a national championship, as I said, it looks like he's trying to repeat, and he's trying to build a dynasty in Gainesville. And the way to build a dynasty in Gainesville is that you can't allow yourself to become comfortable. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. He recognizes that, okay, I can't just rest on my laurels here at Florida. I'm going to have to really make sure that we build something special here to really put my name in place as one of the great basketball coaches of all time. And I mean, he's already off to a good start. I mean, 3 years at Florida, and he's already won a national championship. And he's not. I think he's still not even at the age of 40 yet. So he can have a very long career coaching college hoops, and he can build a nice niche for himself here in Gainesville. I mean, the fact that he's won a national championship, he's already the second greatest UF basketball coach of all time, behind, of course, Billy Donovan. But he's the fact that he's won that he got Florida a third national championship in basketball. He's already probably going to be remembered as one of the great Florida coaches already, and he's already started out so young. And it's a very good sign that he is not taking his foot off the gas, and he is going just as hard as he's been going since he moved to Gainesville from San Francisco. So should be a nice season for Florida coming up this year. If they don't repeat as national champions, I won't say I won't be disappointed, but it's kind of hard to look at not winning a national title as a down year when you just won it the year before. Because the only thing that can match that is if you won it again, and this time, instead of having a close game like Houston, you blow the team out. That's really the only way you could be better than last year. But anyways, great pickup for Florida. Boogie Fland comes to Florida. AJ Brown from Ohio, Xavier Lee, and Florida has some key players returning from last year as well. It looks to be a pretty good season for the Gators again in 2025 through 2026. Hopefully Billy Napier can get the football team to elevate, and now Florida can be good in both football and basketball at the same time, like they were in the late 2000s. So that's what you're hoping for if you're a UF fan. But thanks for listening. Go Gators. And I also want to say thank you to the Georgia Bulldogs for hiring Mike White.